Okay, thank you for confirming. Gajendra, HG104, Deepthi, thank you. So welcome everyone. Once again, this is Ramesh, your instructor. I will be with you for next 1 hour talking about robotic process automation. Right now, I have 13 participants. And if I may request everyone to please go on self-mute, that will be quite helpful. Purnan, Gaurav, Pradeep. Yeah, please go on mute, everyone. Self-mute, please. Alternatively, moderator, can you please put everyone on mute except me? Okay, I can see Pradeep and Samant are still. Okay, Samant, please go on self-mute. Thank you so much. All right, now we're good to go. Okay, so we are going to spend next 60 minutes talking about robotic process automation using UiPath. And this is precursor to a training on RPA UiPath for 32 hours program. The program is for total 8 sessions, each of 4-hour session over the weekend. So this is essentially in the precursor to that training. So let's get started and talk about agenda that we'll be covering in today's session. So the first 40 minutes will be about robotic process automation, what it is all about. We'll see RPA in action. We'll build a couple of demos using RPA UiPath. And the last 20 minutes are reserved for questions and answers. Please feel free to post your questions on the question box or the chat window. And I would do my best to pick them up as quickly as I could. Also, as a housekeeping stuff, please remain on self-mute. If you wish to speak, feel free to do so, but wait for appropriate time. Even better would be to place your request on the chat window. So with that, let's get started and talk about quickly about introduction. About myself, my name is Ramesh Nogen. I have repeated a couple of times already. I'm accredited and certified RPA trainer on UiPath. To date, I have delivered more than 35 batches on RPA UiPath, both corporate as well as retail batches. I've delivered more than 850 hours of RPA UiPath training to 800 plus professionals. I've delivered trainings to corporates such as Deloitte, IBM, Accenture, Capgemini, Oracle, Walmart, and likewise. From my work profile perspective, I have worked with companies such as Newgen Software Technologies, Headstrong, Genpact, SDG, and NIC. My background has been into software product development and application development, and I've been into project and delivery management. I'm UiPath certified, and also I'm PMP certified. I quickly would like to know something about yourself, though we don't have much time at the moment, but I think it will be good to know something about yourself. Right now, I can see around 18 participants. So somewhere around 16 are actual attendees. So I would recommend if you can post a couple of words on the chat window. All I'm looking for is total years of experience, your principal background. Principal background could be that you are a QA engineer, you're a software engineer, you are accounts professional, you are owning a process. And the third part that I would be looking for is, do you have any programming experience? So I would say all put together, you can say that 15, or let's say you have 3 years of experience. So write 3, oblique, accountant, oblique, 0. 0 would mean no experience in programming. So something in that format. Can you please post it on the chat window quickly? I've got a couple of responses. Thank you for that. Let's wait for another 30 odd seconds. And then I'll just read them out, as a overall. Okay, another, don't worry about spelling or anything like that. Just the hints are good enough. All right, let me just read out briefly profile of the group. So I have 12 years of experience, software engineering manager, 8 years in Java, okay. 3 years in automation, SDET, 2.1 years in programming, QA manager, Java programming, 17 years engineering manager, 5 years Selenium and Java, 6.5 years software engineer, 6 in Java J2E world, 6 years working as IT QA, 8 years as a QA engineer, 16 years software engineering, 10 years with mainframe experience, 6+ years in software quality, 7 years in automation engineer, 4 years in Java, 15 years quality testing, project management, automation experience. Wonderful. So it seems like pretty much, I would say, majority are coming from the IT background, and I can see quite a number from the IT QA background, Selenium and similar fields. Okay, good to know. So let's get started. Thanks for sharing this. And actually, I have one more question, and if you can be as precise and as possible, that will be helpful. 2-3 words are good enough, just to get an idea. So, what is your primary motivation to explore for this training? Why you are looking for RPA training? Do you have any motivation? Just few words would be good enough. You may post it on the chat window, please. Okay, huge demand. Want to develop a chatbot, latest technology, transform, improving operational efficiency, get certified. All right. So seems like you have been motivated principally based on what is happening in the marketplace. It is basically surely causing quite a buzz in the market today in terms of automation, in terms of building digital workforce. Okay, great. So that's good enough for me to shape up my remaining delivery. So let's move forward. Ground rules are something that we already have talked about. So let's get started and have introduction to robotic process automation. Okay, so what is the difference between automation and robotics? I think the next slide will clarify it very, very easily. We all are very much familiar with this. In the manufacturing world, we have brought in automation with the help of machines. We manufacture with the help of machines. And over the past more than 100 years, we have been into this world of machine-based automation. wherein nowadays we can't even think of building anything or manufacturing anything with pure labor, pure manual labor. We have machines. That's automation. And yes, we have come to a next level of automation with the help of robotics in manufacturing and industrials. So essentially, we are trying to go to a next level of automation, and we have achieved it to a very, very large extent in the manufacturing physical world. But why I'm sharing this? Let's draw a parallel. Over the past 40, 50 years, with the help of software and hardware technologies, we have created softwares. Essentially, we have automated our processes, our way of completing business transactions. Today, nobody goes to a airline ticket counter and buy tickets from there. We have a buying web portal that typically we use. We have mobile apps that typically we use nowadays. Go more deeper. Do we do our banking in a normal ledger ways using books and pen? Not anymore. Yes, 30 years back, you would see that that is a common practice, that the entire banking was essentially done using big paper-based books. Your entire account will be managed over there. And it takes time to even simply execute a very basic transaction. But now you can't even think about it. We can't really think about our airline booking or banking. We have softwares for that. We have created softwares and softwares. But one thing has still remained same. Though it is surely automation of our processes, but one thing that has remained same is human workforce. The users of these applications are human beings like you and me. Think about of a process for a insurance company. An insurance company for whom managing claims is a very, very important aspect. May I request everyone to please go on self-mute? I would request moderator to please put everyone on mute. That will be quite helpful for everyone. So moderator, please place everyone on mute. Thank you. It's a very large group. We have 38 participants right now. So, do we have moderator? Deepak, are you there? Okay, great. I can see that. Thank you. Okay, so I was talking about think of a insurance process where claims is basically a very major part of the entire business. And when you have a claim management process, surely the insurance company would have already created a number of softwares managing their business, insurance business. But the point is that to manage these claims, they would be having hundreds and sometimes thousands of people working in the back office processing these claims. And all they do is basically get claim requests from their customers with some documents and proofs. And what they do, basically, they process these claims. Now, this may not be a simple process for the insurance company. What they would do, they would basically get the request from their customers, get the supporting documents and artifacts, and then validate whether this claim is a legitimate one or not. They would first make sure that this claim which is coming from a customer, is this customer a valid customer? The insurance claim that is coming through, is it a real one? Is this policy still valid? And likewise. So internally, this insurance company would have number of softwares created over a period of time, like customer information system, policy management system, claims management system, accounts payable system, and likewise. And at times, their staff would be using external softwares too. For example, police database, whether if somebody is claiming a motor vehicle accident insurance, then checking whether this incident really happened. And if there is a external data system available, then the insurance staff member would check whether this is a real claim or not. Is it matching with the external system provided by the police? So the point is that though we have automated our business processes to a very large extent, we still have people working on these processes to get the business transactions done, to get the operations done. Simple solution comes in the form of integration projects when you want to integrate software A with software B. So what do we do typically? So may I request moderator once more, please place everyone on the mute. Okay, thank you. So point is that, to date, typical approach of integrating software A with software B, system A with system B, is essentially to build a bridge, build a integration IT project, and go forward from there. If you want to build your integration with your e-commerce portal with the payment software, you build a software to integrate the two systems. Absolutely. And that has been the approach by and large. If you do not have any software for a particular business objective, surely you would create a new software using Java technology, using .NET technology, or for that matter, any other technology. If a well-established product is available in the market, yes, you will buy that product from the marketplace. So you can buy a product from the marketplace, you can create a pure play software development for your requirement. And you can basically create integration between these applications to get your objective achieved. So wherever you can't have integration fully done, you essentially have human beings working on these various applications and perform their various steps to complete a business transaction. And that is what essentially is happening. Look at your back office processes, look at your business operation processes. We have hundreds and thousands of people working on a single process to get the work done, to get the process executed. Now the time has come where we can automate these interactions with these business applications using a technology called robotic process automation. We, as human beings, we interact with these applications essentially using two devices only, keyboard and mouse. And we primarily use three body parts: our eyes, our brain, and our fingers. Think about it. Whether you are launching a ISRO satellite using softwares, or you're writing a grocery list for your home in a notepad, you are simply using these three body parts, and you are using only two devices, keyboard and mouse, to interact with various applications, be it a notepad or a very sophisticated mission critical software application. Point is that we are interacting with these applications that we have created over a period of time. We interact with these applications using keyboard and mouse, and with the help of our physical body parts, eyes, brain, and hands. If somehow we can automate these operations without human interaction, without human involvement, that is robotics. So we are going to the same level of automation what we have achieved in manufacturing. Now we are achieving the same automation level in software world. In a way, you can call robotic process automation automation of automations. We already have automated various pockets of applications, various pockets of businesses, various pockets of processes. And now we are automating interactions with these applications with the help of a robot. And this robot in this context is a software robot. This software robot will be interacting with these applications and perform the work just like you and I do. So here we are talking about software robots. As a human workforce, as a human being, we interact with the various applications, be it a desktop application or web application, or documents like PDF, Word, Excel. We work with some applications which are local to our computer, and some applications which are running in a remote computer, in a virtual machine, in a Citrix environment. The key thing is that we interact with these applications sitting outside of the computer, and we still able to interact with these applications using keyboard and mouse. Now with robotic process automation, we will be able to perform these tasks, these actions on these applications with the help of a robot, which is essentially sitting inside the computer as against us, who are basically interacting with the computer applications sitting outside. So now we are going towards an era of a hybrid workforce wherein we will be having human workforce and digital workforce working together on software applications. So let's deep dive and understand what RPA is all about. And I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. RPA at the very simplest form is nothing but mimicking human actions on software applications. If I ask you what are the operations that you perform when you interact with any software application at a graphical user interface, what would be your response? What labor you perform when you interact with any software application? Well, actually, you perform only two labor actions. Think about it. The keystroke on keyboard and click on mouse. That's it. Keystroke and click. Yes, at times you perform combination of keystrokes like Control-C, Control-V. Yes, you perform right mouse click, left mouse click, center, double click. Sure, just variants. You interact with the complicated, more very sensitive, very critical transactions, might be transferring $1 million from here to your Swiss account. It's all numbers, right? You're just typing in using a keyboard and clicking on relevant fields to achieve that. Keystroke and click. These are the principal two actions that you perform. That's the only labor you are having when you interact with various applications. Doesn't matter how serious or how simple they are. So robotic process automation is essentially mimicking these actions of keystrokes and mouse clicks at the simplest, at the very basic level of RPA understanding. And that's what we are going to learn. Sounds pretty simple, very straightforward. Well, this is what RPA is all about. It's simple to understand. So what are the processes where you can apply RPA? Processes which are repeatable in nature, which are workflow driven, which are rule based, are suitable for RPA automation. Any process where you repeat the same thing again and again, think about of a claim processing. It is a same task to be performed for 1 case or 100 case or 1,000 case. It is a workflow driven. The steps are very well defined upfront. Rules are very clear. If this policy against which a claim has been submitted, if this policy has expired, obviously this claim has to be rejected. If a claim has been for X amount, which is twice the size of the policy, the maximum the person can claim, obviously this claim cannot be fulfilled in the present form. Rules are very well defined. The process is essentially interacted at the graphical user interface layer. These interactions are happening with the help of human beings. Human beings are performing these tasks. Typically, these tasks or these process steps are involving huge amount of volume. They are continuous in nature. The requests or the inputs are coming in a very structured format. When you see these kind of characteristics with a process, no matter where this process is, yes, this process can be an IT process too, not just business process. Yes, it is very popular in the business process context, but you can very well apply in IT processes. IT infrastructure management processes are very, very repetitive in nature, and we can apply RPA over there. Let's move forward and quickly talk about benefits, and then we'll be jumping on to real hands-on to really see a flavor of how it works. So the benefit of RPA would be that you will be able to, number one, create bandwidth for human being, for human mankind, if I may say that. And it's really true. RPA is going to, in the simplest form, RPA is going to take away the boring work from human, and it's a welcome thing. Many of the processes, especially in our shared services, back office, and even front office processes, are falling in a category where, if not the entire part, but a significant part can be automated using RPA because they are repetitive in nature, they are workflow driven, they have structured input, they are rule based. So instead of human doing it, we can deploy robots to perform those tasks. So what will happen in return? We will get bandwidth to work on higher valued items. Human beings are very good in terms of creativity, empathy, relationship, communication, troubleshooting, organization. This is what we are known for. Rather than just working on repetitive, boring, mundane tasks one time, 100 times, 1,000 times, sometimes millions of times. So the one thing that it is going to help us is to create a bigger bandwidth so that we can work on higher valued items. More appropriately from business context, it will reduce cost. A robot will work 24/7, will never take leave, will never fall sick, doesn't require any salary appraisal. So cost is down. Robots will be much more efficient than us. Once they have been trained, once they have been given instructions, they will be able to perform that set of instructions same way every time correctly and in less amount of time. Efficiency will go up. Productivity surely will go up. We work for 40 hours a week, but robots will be able to work round the clock. Accuracy will go up because we will see that robots will not get fatigued, they will not get bored, they will not get having attention split. I tend to commit mistakes when I'm not focused, when I'm tired, when my attention is somewhere else. Everyone on self-mute, please. As a result, lower cost, higher efficiency, higher productivity, higher accuracy, satisfaction with stakeholders will go up, business, customers, and yes, with employees too, at least medium to long term, if not short term. There are apprehensions that this will cause job losses, maybe in some pockets, some areas, but that will be primarily at a short-term basis. Overall, now we are going towards a intelligent RPA era. We call it IRPA, also IPA, Intelligent Process Automation, wherein with the help of artificial intelligence technologies, we will be able to create our robots, smart robots, and not just order taker robots. So the entire RPA is going towards the IRPA, wherein we will be able to create robots which are smart enough to make their own decisions, just like you and I make decisions. So I would say that from employee perspective, in short term, yes, there can be realignment of jobs at some pockets. Reskilling might be required, but everything is essentially will take us to the next level of our overall efficiency as a workforce. We will be able to create better products in a faster way for our human race, and we all will be get benefited. One more advantage that we will have with robotics is that we will be able to respond to a changing business scenario much faster than a traditional IT solution. A traditional response to a changing business scenario is to build it in your IT landscape, modify your existing softwares, create integration projects, and likewise. That takes time. It has to go through a complete change management. CXOs will always be at discomfort whenever a new change comes into the IT landscape. It has to go through its own cycle of stability and confidence building for the CXOs and owners. By owners, I mean the process owners, application owners, that it is working great and it is working to our satisfaction. It takes time. But with RPA, we are not going to modify any of the underlying applications. We are not going to make any change in the IT landscape. There's no new software getting created. All we are doing is automating current interactions with these applications that you have in your IT landscape, in your business. Instead of human beings working on these applications, robots will work on these applications. So no new software is coming into the picture. No new change into the IT landscape is coming into the picture. And yet you're able to bring in automation on top of existing automations that you have. That has made decision-making among CXOs very straightforward and easy. They feel much comfortable when you're not bringing any change. And that is why RPA is getting huge popularity at the moment. Adoption is at skyrocket high speed. You can imagine, for example, UiPath as a company, and same is the story with other leading vendors. UiPath as a company was having hardly 100 customers some 2.5 years back. And it took them more than 10 years to reach 100. Something has happened in the last 2.5 years that their customer base today is beyond 2,500. It is actually 2,800. And these customers are enterprise customers. Enterprise customers. We are talking about Volvo and Lufthansa and Morgan Stanley, those kind of big names. So our ability to respond to a business scenario, a changing business scenario, goes very high, and that is helping businesses very well in terms of adopting it. Let's talk about some leading RPA products. At the moment, I would say UiPath is leading the pack. the top 3 products in the industry today are UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and Blue Prism. Some worthy names: OpenSpan from Pegasystem, Nice, Cryon, Edgeworth from Infosys, Cofex, Thoughtnomy, and there are many other products like Entworks, Redwood, Softomotive, Another Monday, Contextor, which has been recently acquired by SAP. So such kind of activities are, you will see, increasingly happening in this RPA world. In fact, many biggies, they have either tied up with the RPA companies or they have acquired. Pegasystem, which is the leader in BPM, business process management products, they have acquired OpenSpan. Contextor, RPA product, has been acquired by SAP. All the biggies have some tie-up. For example, Oracle has tied up with UiPath, IBM with Automation Anywhere, Appian, another big name in BPM, with the Blue Prism, and likewise. There are many other relationships and partnerships getting formed. So a lot is happening. All right. So it's time to go for a demo and see RPA in action. And thereafter, we'll have a Q&A session to understand your queries, your questions that you have in mind. So let's go to a real demo development. Quick check on time. It is 37 past 3, so a little bit running behind time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start UiPath Studio software. I've just started UiPath Studio, and in a minute it will be opening up. So my UiPath, Pawan, may I request you to please go on mute? Thank you. Okay, so my UiPath software is opening up. I'm using the latest version. Thanks to UiPath, UiPath provides community edition of their software, which is full-featured, full functional, and it is available to us free on an ongoing basis. It doesn't expire. You have to just renew your license and you're good to go. I've been using it for almost 2 years now. All right. So you can create a new project, and these details will be discussed in detailed training. So let me just work on this new project development. So I'm going to call it as first project, just a name. And let's select my location where I wish to save it. Let's say I wish to save it on my desktop folder. Let's give some description. Learning RPA, and click on create. So what I've just done, I've created a new RPA UiPath project. And let me explain what I'm going to automate. I'll keep it simple. So what I'm going to do is, let's say that I want to know weather for a given city at the moment. So what I would do, I would go and open a browser such as Internet Explorer as a human being. I'll go to some portal such as google.com or weather.com. I will look for, say, weather. I'm traveling to, say, New York. New York City. And what I do, I press enter or I click on this, right? See, all the actions I've done is click on this icon. It opened the browser. Then I clicked on the URL field and I typed in google.co.in using the keyboard. Then I clicked on this field and I have typed in weather New York City with the help of keyboard. And then with the help of keyboard, I'm pressing enter now. And it has taken me to this page where currently I can see New York City is having 1 centigrade temperature. Let's say that I want to do this with the help of robot. Can I really get it done with the help of robot? Robot should do it for me rather than I do it. And then of course you can extrapolate it to much more complex and much lengthy process. Of course, sounds very simple, but if you're the first time you're encountering RPA, then this will help you. So let's see how we can build this automation. UiPath provides something called as activities. All the actions are available to us in the form of activities. For example, the activity for working with the keyboard and mouse are all available here. You can see mouse activities, keyboard activities, and some additional, which we'll be talking about in detailed training. If you wish to perform a type action, this is the type into activity or action command for typing. For a click action, we have this mouse click. Yes, you can have a double click, you can hover. All the detailed set of activities are very much there. All right. So what I need to do is I need to perform an action which will open a browser. Do we have browser related activities? Yes, we do. You can search for activity if you don't know where these are. And in fact, you can use this search activities field at the top. We have this open browser activity. Let me drag and drop. UiPath provides graphical modeling. You can model your process in a graphical manner. When we go into detailed training, we'll be talking about various graphical files that we have. Sequence diagrams, flowchart diagrams, state machine diagram. Sequence is the simplest of the three, and it is automatically created for us when we have drag and drop this open browser. Let me just punch in the URL. So I'll give the URL. I can do a copy paste too. So I'll copy the URL. So what I'm saying is that here is my URL. The browser, which is configured as Internet Explorer, if you see on the right hand side, this area is called properties. So if you select an action command or activity in UiPath's terminology, you will be able to change various properties. So just now I've left it as Internet Explorer. And now inside this open browser, there is a do block where I can place in some activities. Okay, what this will do, it will open the browser. Let me just close out the browser and show you that there is nothing on my desktop. No Internet Explorer is running. Let me just simply run this. And I will show you a couple of things here. You can run your workflow, which you have created, which is super simple right now. It is just opening a browser and going to this URL. So I'll demonstrate to you in incremental manner. The moment I hit on this run, what will happen is a robot instance will start. Pay attention to my taskbar at the bottom. You will see a UI icon with the white background coming up, and that is nothing but the robot, which is going to run this workflow. We call it as workflow. And in this workflow, there's only one instruction at the moment. Open the browser and go to this URL. That's it. Let me hit on run. The moment I hit on run, it will minimize Studio and it will perform the operation. As I mentioned, please pay attention to my taskbar. The robot instance will come up and it will go away once the process ends. I've clicked on start. Robot has started. I'm not touching keyboard and mouse right now. Robot has opened the browser and it has opened the browser with the URL. Let me minimize it because it happened very fast. That is why after the completion, Studio comes back. Wonderful. So now you can see that the bot has opened the browser. Great. Let's build on it. Now what I want to do is obviously I want to type in something here, isn't it? So what I'll do, I will drag and drop another action inside the do block, type in 2. Click on this indicate element. This will help you to identify the UI element, user interface element, where you want to type some text. So let me click on it. Can you see that? The moment I'm into the selection mode, this is called selection mode. RPA tools are capable of identifying these UI elements. Again, think about those 3 body parts that I talked about: eyes, brain, and fingers. How do you know, in a normal course, how do you know that you have to type in this field? Where is this field? Who is telling you? Well, your eyes are locating this field, and it is telling your brain is passing a message to your fingers, and your finger is taking control of this field first, isn't it? I'm actually mimicking those steps only. With the help of this identifying individual field, each and every field in the user interface of this browser right now, I can select. Well, right now my interest is this field. So now I'm going to click on it, means I'm going to select it. I've clicked. This activity type into now knows which field I'm interested in. And at the bottom, you can see that it is saying, okay, what field, what do you want to type in? I'll say in double quotes, weather, New York City. That's it. I can place a click action. So what I need to do, either I can place enter or I can click on this Google search button, isn't it? Let's do that. I will drag and drop click action just below it. So after performing the typing action, I want to perform this click action. Now let me just, because I was looking for weather and a button comes up, I'll pick that up. It says indicate element inside browser. I'll click on it. The moment I click on it, it goes into the selection mode. And I will select this button. Now it knows that which button I need to click in. Great. Let's repeat. Our workflow, though super simple right now, it opens up a browser, which is Internet Explorer, goes to this URL. After the web page has been loaded and all that intelligence is inside the UiPath software, it will start typing in this text. After typing the text, it will click on that button, and we should be able to get the weather details. Let me just close out the browser so that you can see there is nothing running. So no internet. This first button, by the way, is Edge browser. So we're not talking about Edge browser. This second button is the Internet Explorer. I can run this automation with simply hovering my cursor on the UiPath Studio. This is called UiPath Studio. And an icon comes up. So let me just do it again. Okay, it's not coming right now. Let me just click on the run. That way, once it completes the automation, the studio will come back. So I wanted to actually avoid that. So anyway, it will come back again. So let it be. I'm starting automation now. And now I will not touch keyboard and mouse. Everything will be done by robot. So robot has opened the browser, typing in, clicking on the button, and done. And studio has come back. And you can see the UI icon has disappeared. And here is my current weather. It has gone up by 1 degree centigrade. Great. Let's further expand our automation. Let's say that I want to extract. So far we have done input kind of actions, right? Input of text and input of click. Now let's say I want to read this temperature. So how can I go about it? Okay. There's one activity called get text. All this we will be discussing in details when we go into detailed training. Click on indicate element inside browser. And now you can see, again, I'm in the selection mode. Right now, I'm interested in this field. This is also a UI element. Of course, it is for reading purpose. I need to extract it. So I'll capture it. I'll click on it. Done. Now this is being an output, means I'm reading it out. I will need to save the output into some in UiPath terminology, and all the people coming from the IT world and testing world, you will be very much familiar with this. So I need to store into some variable. So what I will do, I quickly will create a variable, and you can create a variables in the variables tab. I'll simply declare a variable as temperature. String type is fine for the time being, so I'll collapse it. So I've created a variable, and in the properties panel, I'll simply give that variable name. If you want to change the variable, you can surely can do that, and it will get reflected everywhere. So you can see it has changed. Great. Now what I want to do, I want to display it. There's one activity called message box. Let me add it just below get text. And let's say I want to say temperature in New York City is, and using the plus sign, which is a concatenation between two strings, I can simply will put temperature, which is a variable. So at runtime, it will be temperature in New York City is so and so. Let's add one more word, centigrade. Done. And let's say I want to, once it is done, I don't want the browser anymore. Can I close the browser? Sure. There's one activity called close window. Let's drag and drop, and all done. Because we are all inside this open browser, which is called as a container type of activities, because it contains set of activities which are working on this browser instance. So for that reason, I don't even have to indicate which browser to close out. It knows. All right. So I've modified it. Let's run this automation. Bot started, bot opened the browser, typed in, temperature extracted, wonderful. Temperature in New York City is 2 centigrade. Excellent. If I click on OK, and this is my bot is telling me, right? If I click on OK, browser is closed. Excellent. Let's further expand it. You can even make it fancier. I mean, if you want it bot to, bot should do it in background, and bot should not even display the browser. How about that? Surely you can do that. Not a big deal. All these details will be discussed in details in our detailed training. So first of all, yes, you can make your browser hidden using the properties. So I just enabled hidden mode. Then there is something called as simulation method. To work your typing and clicking in background, you have to enable simulation method. Excellent. And now if I run it, it won't even show up. The browser will not show up. All will be coming to us at the end will be the temperature. So let me run it now. Now pay attention. You won't see anything. No browser will open up. All you'll get is the final result. The bot is working on the browser in background. Excellent. If you want to just make it a little more appealing, though nothing fancy from business process perspective, let's say that I want my bot to talk with me in real voice. Okay, not a big deal. There is technology called speech, text to speech, and we'll be learning about these packages. So I'm adding a new functionality, which is called text to speech. It is searching the database of UiPath for packages, and it will give me speech related packages. There's one package which I could found. Let me just install it. So I'm expanding the capability of UiPath right now. So let me do it one more time. I have to install it. So search for speech, select this, click on install, click on save. It will take a minute or so. All right. My package has been installed. If you see, there's another group of activities have come. In fact, there's only one activity. Let me drag and drop the speech activity. And instead of message box, which comes graphically on the screen, I'll paste it into my properties, the text. Speed, 100 means maximum speed, or rather I should say 1. 1 means is a normal speed. And volume, let me keep it as 100 scale. Now I don't need the message box. I can delete it or I can disable it. Control D is basically for disabling. All these details will come up in detailed training. Now this time if I run it, it will not even display any message. All the bot will do is will speak with me. So let's run it. I'm not touching keyboard and mouse anymore. Bot has started. It's doing the job. It's doing the job in background. And once it is done,
temperature in NYC is 2 centigrade.
And job done. So my bot is done. Of course, it is very simple, very straightforward, nothing special about it, but it's at least giving a feel that how you can automate applications. This is a web application. We can automate desktop applications. We can automate Excel files, PDF files, Word files. We can do FTP. We can do your network connectivities. We can do RESTful services, SOAP services. We can integrate with third-party software such as ServiceNow, Salesforce, SAP ERP. We do have cognitive APIs. We do have a server part also of UiPath from where you can manage your digital workforce centrally, sitting anywhere in the world. So let me stop at this point of time and go for Q&A. So now I'm open for Q&A, and please post your question on the chat window and I will be more than happy to respond to your questions. Okay, let me see. There are many, so just hold on. Let me just scroll up. Okay. Dave 337 said couldn't hear properly. I guess it was just local, I believe. Okay, how different it is from Selenium? So Selenium is basically for software testing. Yes, underlying technology is similar. I mean, Genesis are similar, but Selenium and related tools are basically for testing a software. That's the principal purpose. But here, the purpose is not testing. It is the real process automation. What you just saw was pretty simple, but think about it. It is a simple process. In that process, I fulfilled some 6, 7 actions, and I could achieve the outcome or output in this case. So from that context, it is separate. We are talking about process automation. Yes, there are similarities in the underlying technology and how you deal with them, but they are different. How we know the workflow has passed? Is there any report we can see after the execution? Yes, you can see a report. You can generate a report, or you can even see log files, or you can even see the outcome. In our case, the bot actually ended. So what you see in the output panel, there's an output panel in UiPath Studio, and it will keep on telling you where you are. So you can see that my process, the last process that I executed, I demonstrated, took 12 seconds. And I knew that, okay, it started at this time. There's one button here, which is a timestamp. So my process started at this point and process ended at this time. Overall, it took 12 seconds. And then I can have intermediate messages too. Dishan says, can it take input from speech? Yes, it can. But again, as I use the term, this is more of a fancy stuff. The real, serious business processes, normally you don't see those use cases. But having said that, yes, it can take, inputs from speech. Not directly though, you need third-party packages for it. So if a tool such as like Alexa or Jarvis or, your Siri work, similarly, your robot can also function, taking inputs through speech. Can we manage different scenarios here in RPA? Yes, absolutely we can. So using a workflow, combination of workflow, for example, flow chart, I can create a very complicated, workflow, and I can handle multiple scenarios. Jitendra says other automation tool. Yeah, I think this is covered. Where we can deploy this bot. You can deploy this bot in a target machine. Means wherever you want this bot to perform, just like you perform on your computer, the bot will perform on that particular computer. So it's the same analogy. So the deployment has to be on the target computer. But the beautiful thing is that there's another software called Orchestrator from UiPath, which is a web-based application. And using that, you will be able to monitor and control your robots which are running anywhere in the world. Next is in-process characteristics. You mentioned large and continuous volume. What does it mean? So, okay, would you hire a new employee when you know that the work for this new person will be only for 16 hours in a week? No, you won't, right? What if you say that, okay, I have work worth of, 10 days, but the entire 10 days worth of work comes on Friday morning, and you want to deliver it in, say, 2 days time or 3 days time. Would that be good enough to deploy your resources? No, because it is coming in one chunk. So the point is that when you have continuous input or continuous data coming in, it's a welcome thing. And the volume is large means that your opportunity to utilize your resources, utilize your bots, same is applicable of the human workforce. People who are coming from service industry will understand it better. What is the meaning of resource utilization? So if you want to have your bot utilization at a very high level, then you have to ensure that the continuity of data, continuity of requests, continuity of work is coming in, keeping your bots busy. And you always would like to have a continuous behavior rather than a stepped behavior of work. Millie says, if we pick up UI, how tough it will we pick up others? So yeah, I mean, we can pick up UI, but I couldn't understand. So normally we interact with the UI, right? So be it a desktop application, web application, it would be same, no difficulty at all. Shubham says this is not an open source tool license, right? Yeah, it is not, but we are using community edition, which is free. So community edition, there is no cost involved. We can talk about licensing another part later on, but that's basically is something we should not worry about, at least from the learning perspective. The community edition is free. Quick input for you. The cost of a unattended license of a robot from UiPath for a 1-year basis is $6,000 US. This is the list price. Of course, you can negotiate based on volume and other criteria. Dishan says, can it work with desktop application? 100% yes. Just the way you have automated web applications, exactly same way you will be automating desktop application. Hold on, not only that, you can automate PDF files, Word files, and many more. So short answer, yes. Can we integrate scripts with CI/CD? Absolutely, yes, we can. And many people are applying this into the continuous delivery world. Do we maintain any sort of framework to maintain different scenarios? Yes. There is a combination of workflow files that I touched upon: sequence diagram, flowchart diagram, state machine diagram. And in fact, there's a very complicated, not complicated, I should say comprehensive, of course it is complicated, a comprehensive framework from UiPath called Robotic Enterprise Framework that provides the framework components for building an enterprise-grade automation. But that will be advanced level, at least for this discussion, this level of discussion. Can we use it like Selenium, test a large number of test scripts? Yes, we can if we wish to, but this is not the primary use of this technology. I give this example to explain. Would you hire a 10-seater SUV to go to your office on a daily basis? No, purpose is different. Yeah, of course, you can drive it to your office. Nobody is stopping you to drive a 10-seater SUV to office every day. Only you travel. Welcome. But there's no need, right? You buy 10-seater for your family travel. So not a very good analogy, but I think fair enough to explain the difference. Can we work on multiple iterations with the different set of data? Absolutely yes. Complete control flows. Control flows are available in UiPath that will enable us to iterate through a huge set of data. Data could be few hundreds to thousands to millions. So we can iterate, yes. Who will provide certification? This I will leave it to Deepak, DevLabs, from the training institute perspective. But from the UiPath perspective, and good news, it is available free. You will be able to get certified from UiPath, and this course will cover that course content. What is the license cost of UiPath? We covered it. Can we run the test parallelly in different web browsers? Yes, we can, very much. To deploy the bot on bot, I guess, a bot on target system, do we need RPA installation as mandatory? No, you do not need the entire UiPath. You only need the robot and the automation workflow file, what we have created. So essentially, we have created a file called XAML file. So if I show you Studio and go to my project, can you see this? Can you see this main.xaml file? So this is the file that you would need, the bot and the XAML file. From where we can know more about training, okay, that I'll leave it to Deepak. Deepak is who is managing the entire training program. May I request everyone to go on mute, please? I know we have already 8 minutes over. Another few minutes, there are a few more questions lined up. Does this work with applications which works on input data provided at runtime? Yes, surely it can. Not a problem at all. Whether the data is... Let's have some entertainment. All right. So how UiPath is different from Ansible? Don't know much about Ansible, so can't comment. Can we keep these scripts in Git and SVN? Yes, yes, and very much yes. Git is not yet available right away. It will be coming in next, release, next 1 or 2 release, but SVN is already supported. So you can very well have your files in your SVN. So if I show you the team, can you see this TFS? That is Team Foundation Server from Microsoft and SVN on the right-hand side. Git will be supported in next release or next release. Thank you very much for joining this demo, blah, blah, blah. If you're keen on building the knowledge, I think this is just a message from DevLabs. Preeti, do you have an email ID? Yes, email ID has been shared. Hi, Harpa, can you write us to okay? Are these any measures where RPA is misbehaving as there are memory constraints, idle memory and CPU power? I won't say misbehaving. So it's very similar to you and me. Yes, if your computer is say 2 GB RAM and you're running a process which is heavy duty, obviously it will be very slow. So all the problems that you and I face as a human beings, same would be the case with robot. So yes, you have to make sure that resources are optimal when robot are working on the processes. Okay, can we automate mobile and tablet through UiPath? No, we can't. And in fact, there's no use case for that in business process world. How many instances of bot can run on a single machine? One bot, one machine. It is exactly same as with human beings. So as human being, we are one person, one computer, isn't it? If someone else has to work on my computer, I have to sit aside and the other person will log in with his or her credential and start working on this computer. So one computer, one person. Same is true with bots. One bot, one computer. How can we return any argument? Yes, so arguments are supported in UiPath, and there's a concept of arguments. If I just take you quickly to Studio Back, and please pay attention at the bottom part. Can you see these arguments? So using arguments, I can take inputs and I can return outputs. I can return using arguments. Can we automate Android and I? Okay, this is covered. Can MBA fresher learn this? Yes. So RPA is not very tech heavy, I would say. Doesn't mean that you should not have any idea about programming. Yes, so if you have a basic understanding of programming, programming constructs, you understand fundamentals of programming such as data types, variables, control flows, for loop, while loop, you understand arguments, as one question raised just a few seconds back. Uh, if you understand this, and if you go a little above, how would you manage your errors? Though all these things will be discussed and explained, but if you have a pre-understanding about this, we are good. So you don't have to be a die-hard programmer. Even a fresher MBA can very well learn it. Please go to, okay. Any specific coding language required? No, nothing specific is required, but if you are coming from a programming background, that's a big plus. Again, you don't have to be die-hard programmer. As I mentioned, if you have a fundamental understanding of programming, that will be quite helpful. But you don't need any specific programming background. Having said this, if you have, say, VB.NET understanding or C# or Java, I think things will be much, much easier for you in learning. Last question in the queue. What would happen if RPA crashes? Do we need to restart manually ourselves, or there are fail-safe? Very good. Yes, there are fail-safe. In fact, robots you can design in such a way that robots can recover from erroneous situation. Yes, if the robot itself is down, not a big deal. That also can be managed in an automated manner. Now think about it. Think in a holistic manner. It is exactly same as our human workforce. If your manager is managing 5 people and this manager has to deliver a project on Friday evening, today is Tuesday, and let's say that you are not well. You are not working today. So the manager is working with 4 people only. Next day also you are not well. You're not come to office. Next day also, well, now it's a big problem. Only 2 days are left, and the manager has to complete the work which was supposed to be done by 5 people for 5 days. That means 25 man days rather, or person days. But now the person is left with minus 3 days, isn't it? So how that person, so in a way, the bot is down. The human being is down, bot is down. So manager will do what? Will bring in another bot. Will bring in the other robot, the other human being with the same skill set, and get the job done. So you can draw a similar parallel here. Yes, if a bot is down, bot can be brought up with a supervisory robot. You can create a robot hierarchy, and that robot will be responsible for bringing up a robot if the robot is down. So very much possible. You can create a fail-safe deployment, and the workload management, your availability aspects, all this can be managed. All right, so that was the last question. So with this, let me thank everyone. Thank you everyone for your time, and hope you have got reasonable understanding about RPA path. Please get in touch with DevLabsAlliance for any further question regarding training program. We are starting our training on 16th of Feb, starting at 6 p.m. So it will be a 4 weekends program starting from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., 4 hours every day, Saturday, Sunday, and that means there will be total 4 weekends. So please get in touch with DevLabs, and we will be happy to have you on board in our training program. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully we'll see you in the training program. Bye for now.
Thank you everyone for joining the session today. I have put up the details on, I've shared the screen, and you can get in touch with the DevLabsAlliance for the upcoming batch. You can write to us at the email ID which is mentioned. And for further details, you can log on to the site and register for the upcoming batch. And this is all for today. So have a good day. Thank you.